And I gotta say, I do feel better. I do feel like I just feel better overall. I don't feel perfect. I don't feel necessarily younger, but I do feel like I have more energy. I've lost a lot of weight. I feel like my energy throughout the day is a lot more even. I just generally feel better.
I think that's the biggest hack or adjustment to this, is that you do have control over your body and how it feels and whatnot to some extent, to the extent that we have free will in the first place. But you can take agency over that stuff, and you might as well while you're young, because by the time you're old, it's too late.
So the Blueprint plan wasn't hell. It was just boring. The real question was, did it work? To find out, I took a few more measurements. Another DEXA scan, another VO2 max, a blood test, and another biological aging test. Let's look at the data. I definitely saw a steady decline in my weight. I lost about 20 pounds over the course of the 30 days, which was more than I expected, but maybe less than I'd hoped. Still, it was a clear win. My sleep data wasn't as clear. I don't think I saw a huge improvement in my sleep quality or quantity, which is a shame, because it's one of the most important things for your overall health. The DEXA scan was another clear win. Looking at my body composition, you could see I hadn't just lost weight, but I'd lost fat where it mattered most.
Your visceral fat area is at about 165 right now. Your last scan was coming in at about 210.
Oh, wow.
So you've been able to drop that by, 40, 50 points.
Wow.
So I'd say you can't really do much better than that.
The VO2 max test was a miserable slog still, but I saw a clear improvement in my overall score, going from a 34.6 to a 36.8. My blood test results were also great. My cholesterol and triglycerides were dramatically lower than my previous blood test. My triglycerides went from over 300 to just over 70, which is incredible. And my LDL, which is the bad cholesterol, has gone way down. It went down from 126 to 92. So overall, I had lost weight and was in better shape. But had I really slowed or reversed my aging? For that, we looked at the results of the biological age test. And yes, it appears that Blueprint did work, in fact, much more effectively than I had expected. My biological age went from 36 to 33, and I saw improvements in almost every category. Although we couldn't afford another DEXA scan or VO2 max test for Rob, he saw dramatic improvements as well. He dropped 25 pounds in weight, lost 6 inches off his waist, and he saw a 40 to 70% improvement in his weightlifting performance. Now, we fully admit that there's a lot of debate around the accuracy of biological aging tests, but if you accept them as a reasonable measure of our body's overall age, then yes, we reversed aging by adopting Brian's Blueprint plan. So, having seen these numbers, having seen this dramatic improvement in my health, it makes me reticent to go back to living my life the way I was before. It makes me feel like I probably need to at least keep most of the things from the Blueprint plan. I'm definitely going to make a few changes, but I'm probably going to make them very slowly and be very careful to watch how they impact my body and how my body performs.
Brian Johnson's Blueprint, there's a cadre of people that when they interface with this and they see it, they see the food that he eats and they think of it's a miserable way to live. I think when you just look at it from a macro level, it's not crazy. It's actually just pretty simple, sound advice. Eat whole foods, take supplements, and exercise.
It's been several months since we filmed this experiment, and I've kept my regular, miserable exercise schedule. My diet isn't anything crazy, and I'm taking fewer supplements. I've kept the weight off, and I'm actually still losing a little bit of weight. My wife says I'm still 43, though.
And the hard reset on aging, I guess it's sort of TBD, right? You have to see what the results are and all that. It didn't feel like I'm getting younger in any real sense, but Brian's been doing this for 2 years and we've been doing it for a few weeks, right?
I think for me, it's more of a hard reset on the idea of wellness. Should you think of your health only when it's a problem? Maybe you should start thinking about it every day, what you can do to improve it every day, as opposed to just thinking about it when it's become an issue already.
So what will it mean as we learn more about how to optimize our diet and our lifestyles to extend our lives? So picture a scenario where we had a good sense of what foods and activities would extend our healthy lifespans. You don't need to close your eyes to imagine that. Just look around you, because we already live in that world. Doctors have been telling people to eat better and exercise regularly for decades. And for just as long, we've been ignoring them. You can call that human nature.
This is a hard reset on how we understand being human. It's a genuine attempt at trying to say, given the circumstance, what is the most practical thing we could contemplate in doing that would increase our chance of shared survival?
So the future scenario here isn't a leap forward in technology, but in philosophy. For Brian, this all comes down to free will.
In the same way that an algorithm can get me to my destination more efficiently with a digital map, the technology is to a point now where it does all these primary functions for me, which goes to your question of what is my role of decision making? And I've chosen to opt in and say, I say yes to an algorithm that can give me near perfect health, dramatically slow my speed of aging, and keep me going into the future because I want to play new games.
What does the world look like when we make the best choices for ourselves? What does it mean for our health and our happiness when we're not making choices out of desperation or on impulse?
I no longer pantry graze. I don't order from a menu. I don't do a spontaneous pizza party. I don't do drinks with friends late night. I don't miss it. I don't want it. They make me feel awful. I think they're bad. And hopefully soon, society will shift and we'll see that it does not make any sense for us to be doing things that increase the risk of death and disease.
A lot of this comes down to how you define free will.